Hi, everyone. This is Peter and this is Hassan. This is our second Q&A show on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about the topic of still DevOps and what exactly DevOps is and what's really behind it. Peter, please introduce yourself.
Hey there, my name is Peter Jobst. I'm the owner of Jobst IT Consulting here in Los Angeles. We've been in business over 15 years. And we are sysadmins and DevOps engineers that help out companies with applications and offices.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Peter, I think now is the time where you're going to show us on your screen the three things about DevOps.
Yeah, there's, well, this is the three ways.
The three ways.
DevOps.
It's called the three ways.
It's called the three ways, exactly. And this is the foundation of what DevOps is. It's a relatively new philosophy. And let me just jump in here real quick. And let me share my screen here with you.
Yeah, for the people on the channel that are listening to this channel, Peter's background is more in the IT world and my background is more in the marketing world. So that's why we started doing these videos to basically, learn more about the IT world and what's behind it, and see how we can help and put value for people to understand the ecosystem of DevOps. So Peter, please take the lead, and I'm so excited to learn more about DevOps, and let's go.
All right. Well, thank you. So yeah, so this is we run a meetup called DevOps LA, and this is kind of what we talk about in our group. And for me, it kind of started with some research. And the thing that I think is very cool is that Ben Franklin, who is a mentor of mine, idol of mine that I follow a lot, even though he's from the 1700s, democracy and DevOps have a lot in common. They're a philosophy that really changed the world. People didn't have democracy before 1776. It was something that was invented. And it was invented out of people coming together and talking about ideas. And one of the things that he had was something that was called Junto. And people would get together and drink beer, and they would talk about these philosophies. And I think it's just a great way to kind of open up about, about what is DevOps. And on the basic level, what we talked about before, it's development, application development, and operations, system administration operations. And in the past, they were siloed. Developers would throw the content over to the operations. Operations would get it and throw it back and say, this isn't working.
Exactly.
And right. And there needed to be a better philosophy. The philosophy of DevOps actually came out of Toyota lean manufacturing. And they found that in software development, there was only this process of build it in a waterfall type scenario of where you take a year to develop something and then you throw it up and hope that it works. And it usually didn't. And that's where this came from. And this is a philosophy of a production line. And everything that happens in the manufacturing world happens in application development. So DevOps is built off of the three ways of thinking. And the first way of thinking is that whenever you have work, it should always flow from the left to the right, and it should always flow in one direction. You should never have scenarios where you put something on the production line and you find out somewhere down the line that it didn't work, and then you put it back to the beginning and put it back on. And the reason is because it's not efficient. It's a waste of time. It's called rework. And so the three ways are the system thinking of things going from left to right. And
I see that it says on the chart, it says dev and ops, right? I see dev is on your left, I think, and then ops is on the right.
Yeah, and things are going from the left to the right.
Got
And
you.
so the developers and the operations, as you can see, you can see in here is that the developers are merging with the operations to add business value and a delivery pipeline to the customer on the other side.
Okay.
And this is, as you can imagine, if a car was being built, it would
No.
start off, it would start off in parts, and then it would get delivered to the customer in only one direction.
Yeah. So now it makes a lot of sense because I didn't like know more about when you were saying DevOps. Now it's like developers and operations. Developers are more on the left side and operations on the right side, but they work together and they operate together.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a marriage. It's a partnership
Got you.
that are stronger together than they are individually.
Okay. Awesome.
And then and so that kind of goes on to, you're always putting stuff on the beginning of the production line, and the product is moving in one way, and that is the first way of thinking. That's the first part of the three ways.
Awesome.
The second part of the three ways is what's called a feedback loop. So if you just put something on the production line and you just assume that it goes off the other end, I mean, you can all imagine the I Love Lucy episode where she's eating all the chocolates because over the feedback loop is that she's shoving them all in her mouth and they're not going into the boxes, right?
Exactly.
And so it's very important for the people at the end of the line to be saying, hey, slow down, or hey, you can speed up on the other side, or the stuff that you're sending us is all backwards, or whatever the case is. There needs to be that feedback to the beginning of the line that tells them, ways that they can improve, what they're doing in the beginning. And the last one is a cultural, it's a culture of continually experimentation and learning. So this is a fun part about our job. It means that if you're the type of person who always wants to keep learning, and you love to tinker with things, and you love to break it and then fix it in a new way, then this is a very exciting place to be, because you're continuously experimenting and continuously learning.
That's awesome.
So we can kind of talk about here, this is the first way of thinking, is the process of it's going from the left to right. Okay. And this is a very common practice of developers start off in this fashion of where they start off in development. I know it sounds crazy to start development in development, but a lot of people, they go, it's kind of as if you got a new model airplane and you just said, you throw away the instructions and just start gluing stuff together, right? And then you come to find out that I can't put the wings in because I already glued the fuselage together.
Exactly.
So, so this is the, going from the left to right, you start off in development. It goes into quality assurance. They go and they test it. They do some performance. It goes into the staging environment. And ultimately, it goes into production. And this is that system thinking again that is always going from left to right. This is a good one. It's the feedback loop, and I think this is a great image, because I don't know what this little lizard is doing, but it definitely has some feedback.
It looks like it's eating his tail.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's kind of the loop.
That's the loop, and the important part is that everything is always a loop. Like the thought of you built it and then your job is done is never the case. Your job is you build it, you test it, you implement it, you see how it goes, and then you start again. And you can kind of see that the developers here are checking their code in,
Mm-hmm.
They're putting in new functionality. They make a build. As you can see here, they get some feedback that goes here. It goes around again. It goes into a testing automation plan where, hey, maybe something was broken. Maybe they really liked something. Maybe something was faster, something was slower, and around and around it goes. And this is the realistic way of how applications are developed, because they're never really done. The customer always wants a new feature. Your competitors are always putting out a new feature that you need to implement, and it helps improve the process.
That is so funny. It's the same kind of concept of doing an ad and then throwing the ad out there and then seeing what happens. For example, Facebook ads. You throw Facebook ads and then it comes back to you and you see after 30 days, oh, really what happened? And then it's like this loop and we test and see the winning campaigns. So it's funny. It's very similar.
And that's true, because the concept of DevOps is one of the world. It happens in other places also. And I think it just has, in the last 5 to 10 years, that developers have realized this, that development and operations must have this team mentality, and where it's constantly flowing, through all the phases. So, this is kind of something funny. This is a kind of a funny picture, because this is actually, this is what a Kanban board looks like. As you can see, it's going from the left to the right. And we do this all the time, where you have all these little sticky notes, and then it moves to the right into development and testing. And, and they have little stuff at the top that says, I'm stuck, I'm too busy, this guy is not doing anything in idle. And then the guy on the right is saying, hey, let's do something about it.
It's crazy.
So that part of it is Kanban is another Japanese lean manufacturing term of this board that we see here. And it's such a simple process of writing your little notes down, and then you move it from analyzing it to you're developing it, and then you test it, and then you ultimately are deploying it.
That's insane. So can you go back to the picture again? Let me see. For the audience to look at this really well. So he's stuck there, and then he's going into I'm too busy, and then they go into the test phase, and then they do let's do something.
Yeah, well, as you see the guy in testing, he's got nothing in there because everything's stuck. Everybody's stuck analyzing it, and then the person in the development, they're too busy to move anything, so that you can see the guy in testing has nothing. And then the manager at the end is like saying, hey, we should do something about this.
Exactly. That's funny. Okay.
So, and here's and we talked about this, the third way is
this is the best one. I love this one.
Yeah, it's the best one. I mean, this is where you get to drink the beer, right? This is where you sit down with your friends and you drink the beer and you tell them about what it is that you built over the weekend.
Exactly.
And what you learned about it, and how do you bring that into your company? And I think one of the things that that people learn in martial arts and who learn in playing an instrument is that repetitive practice is what turns you into a master.
Exactly.
Right?
That's 100%
You don't become
true.
a master because you really want to, because you think it's so exciting. And it's not because you go once a week and do it for 4 hours that one day a week. It's something that you do every day. It's something that little that you do every day, and repetitively you get better and better at it until you're a master of it.
It's so true. I love how you're basically ending this. This is so powerful.
And that is the three, and that's what DevOps is built off of. It's the 3 ways.
Awesome. Do you want to just go back to the first screen where it shows the 3 ways again? So just basically we're just making, so the first way is system thinking, right? We got that right. So in simple words, what exactly is system thinking?
System thinking is understanding that your job is not just just a finite little small job. That you have to understand the entire system. And if
Gotcha.
you neglect to think about the system, things that you're doing for yourself may be negatively impacting something up the line.
No,
So
completely. Yeah, that makes sense. And then the second one is amplify feedback loops, which is the same exact concept that is going back and forth, right?
it is that it's the feedback loop of you. If you don't get any feedback from somebody, you're never going to improve in it, and you could continually do the wrong thing if nobody ever came back to you and gave you any kind of feedback of how you were doing.
Awesome.
And when you get that feedback, you need to be able to take it as, okay, I'm not a bad person, I didn't do anything wrong, but I want to take this information and improve on it so that the next time it goes through that it's a little bit better.
Exactly. Exactly. And the third one is culture of the third one. Did you talk about the third one?
Yeah, it's culture of continual experimentation and learning. And that's, I mean, a great way. I think everybody should learn
Martial
every single
arts.
day. Martial arts, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Okay.
something that I've been learning recently, and it's very fitting for what we do.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's a good end of this presentation about the three ways of thinking with DevOps. And I think, can you get back to your screen? Stop sharing this. Yeah. So um, basically, this channel is Peter Jobst' channel, right? And what's happening is every single week, we're coming and giving our follow members that are into DevOps, into IT, or want to know more about the IT world, or maybe want to know more about how to wire their offices, and maybe not let anyone hack their offices. So this channel is based on value and education in that kind of ecosystem. You want to add anything to that, Peter?
Yeah, I think this is, I mean, you said it very well, and I love that. And I love people just to learn and to continuously be learning. And, you know, if we can share any information that helps people or sparks imagination or, you know, something in their job, you know, we're happy to help.
Awesome. And where can people find you?
You can always look us up on jobst.us, www.jobst.us. And maybe we'll be having a DevOps LA meeting that you come meet,
That's
come hang out,
awesome.
and have a beer
That's
with us.
awesome. Awesome. And if that happens, probably we'll tell everyone about it in the upcoming videos if we're planning on doing that. But awesome. I am so excited about this. Thank you everyone for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to Peter's channel and click that notification button for you to get to know when exactly is the next channel. Basically every Friday, Peter's going to be putting down a content that is full of value about this ecosystem. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And thank you, Peter. Do you have anything else you want to say to your audience?
Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Awesome.
All
Awesome.
right.
And we're done.
All right.
Let me
Bye
just
bye.
have fun.